What's up, everybody? Got another update for you on the BLT hybrid. Um, this video is going to be a little bit different. I don't know if we'll get to actually putting this stuff on the truck yet, but I wanted to kind of show you something that I've been asked about before, and I haven't really done it because I don't use a lot of aluminum parts. But today, I'm going to show you how to de-anodize and polish up your parts. So let me show you what I got here first, and we'll get right into it. Okay, so there we are. I've got tons of new aluminum parts, billet, whatever the hell you want to call it. Um, and I mean, you can just look at the quality on these, man. I mean, they're thick, they're nice. I'm kind of glad I did this. I'm not gonna go aluminum on all the truck. I still want to use a lot of plastic parts, things like that. But yeah, I'm kind of glad that I did this, honestly. So this is part for the front here. And then one of these pieces, I think it's this one or maybe this one here, is the sides for it. And it kind of acts like a diff case, sort of. And that's what holds your arms on, the top and the bottom. And it also helps mount your tower brace, your shock tower brace. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these all out of the package, and I'm going to put them in a container, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with them here. So without letting the cat out of the bag too much, we're going to be using oven cleaner, and then we're going to basically clean it up after that, and we're going to use aluminum polish. That's it. And I'll show you how good, how easy, and I know a lot of people, want to like change colors or whatever. I don't care about that. My whole look is something similar to this or similar to this. I think these two go really good together, and that's what I want my truck to be. Because I've kind of got an idea on what I want to do with the body and everything else here, and I think this color scheme is just going to be too loud. That would be fine on something like the Joker car I got over there, the Why So Serious, or whatever hell you want to call it. That's cool. I don't mind the zany, wacky colors and stuff on there. But even still, on this guy, I still did a lot of kind of coordinating with the color. See, I still have green arms. I do have a little bit of purple in there. And I still have the silver or matte gray or whatever hell you want to call that. I'm a little colorblind, guys. So, yeah. And obviously the body kind of works for it. I'm kind of getting to that point where I'm trying to make my rigs look a little bit better. I want to do a little more strength, and I want to add a little more power. So that's kind of why I'm doing what I'm doing over here. So I want to try this out. And I've done this before. It's not a very hard process. It just takes a little bit of time, a little bit of elbow grease, and you're ready to rock and roll. For anybody that needs these part numbers, you can pause the video at any point and get them. This is not everything that you need on a truck. Now, I'm learning as I go. I had to buy a new chassis, everything else here, because the other chassis I have down there obviously is a low C5T chassis, and although it will work if I cut and chop and do all that crap, this is the reason why I bought this chassis. Look how much thicker this is at the bottom here, and I don't have to cut and chop or anything. So I want that strength in the rear because that's where my power is going to be at. If I go and I cut a lot on this one here, then I basically reduce the strength that I have in the rear. Okay, so we're going to be using all the items you see here to take this, remove the anodizing, and then polish it to make it look similar to this. So we got our vinegar here. We got just regular table salt, iodized salt. We got oven cleaner, and I got these little bottles here because what I'm doing is with the vinegar, you want to do like equal parts vinegar and salt. And I shake it up. I mean, you're supposed to put it in a spray bottle or whatever, but I just use a water bottle. It should be fine. Got a little scrubby pad here and a toothbrush. I use a lot of old toothbrushes in the cracks and crevices and stuff. Of course, I'm wearing gloves. So first things first, what we need to do is get some oven cleaner on this. So I'll kind of show you after I get it on here. So that's what we're going to be doing, just kind of spraying it on. Kind of thick, let it foam up a little bit. And we're going to get the other side as best we can. And then we're just going to let it sit. Usually it doesn't take very long. I like to wipe my hands off as I go along. And then I'll take my toothbrush here. I'll just kind of start working it in. You don't have to do this. You can let it sit and wait. It will come off that way as well. Sometimes you need more, like this one here. I think I'm probably going to need a little more. So it looks like I'm going to need more for sure. So go ahead and set it down there. I'm just going to load it up. So foam your stuff on the bottom. Brush it on. So just let it sit. As you can see, it's already starting to come off on my fingers here. So it will take it off. You know, depending on what type of oven cleaner you use, it might be better or worse, whatever. I don't know. And it does kind of smell, so you gotta be careful of that as well. So just keep all that in mind. And every once in a while, I'll take the brush over here and just kind of brush it on little crevices. As you can see, the back is really starting to come off already. So they usually put this on there pretty thick. So again, we'll just let it sit. Put some more of the oven cleaner on there. We got a bunch in the bottom here of the bowl that I'm using. And as I brush it on there, it's actually taking it off better by doing it this way. And sometimes you'll find that, you know, different techniques work better. You know, use your own technique, whatever you think might work better. But this is how I remove anodizing. So you can see the red's already coming off, or orange, or whatever that is. I'm a little colorblind, guys. So I just like to wipe it off and keep extra towels and stuff around me because I'm going to be going through a bunch of these. Try not to get anything anywhere. But there again, it's already coming off. So we'll let that set for a few minutes and then we'll come back to it. And again, this is our salt vinegar mix. I just want to keep agitating it a little here and there. The salt won't dissolve. You know, you're supposed to use like a half and half mixture. I never do exactly half and half. I just do whatever I think would look good. You know, where it's got a little bit of crusty paste or whatever in there. That's usually what I do. Now, after letting this sit for the short time I've been talking here, look at that. Bam, coming right off. So this stuff works. It's an easy, cheap solution. Instead of you having to pay a bunch to get something de-anodized or sending it off or whatever. The only bad thing about doing this is you got to polish it yourself if you want to polish afterwards, because it's going to look a little dull. Me personally, I don't care. I don't mind polishing it. You know, it's not that big a deal to me. So that's why I do it this way. Again, it just takes time. don't be in a rush, because this stuff will take a while. But as you can see, it doesn't take that long. It's already, bringing a lot of it off. So it's a fairly quick process. It takes a little bit of time, but not too terrible. So at some point, we're going to use a little bit of actual water just to wash it off. And I'll show you that when we do that as well. I'm probably going to stick it in here, or maybe I'll just stick it in the water bottle itself and just kind of agitate it a little bit, just to get all the cleaner and stuff off before we start polishing. Now polishing, all I'm really going to be doing is using this side of the Brillo pad or whatever this thing is, little sponge thing. It's got a little scratcher thing that you use for your kitchen, whatever the hell that's called. That's what I use. And it's going to look dull. Pull out one here. This is about how it's going to look before it's polished. This is about what we're looking for after it's polished. It may not get this shiny, but it should get fairly close. So again, we'll leave those out for reference so you can kind of see. One is more like a dulled gray kind of thing, and the other one is polished. So this looks like it's damn near off. And again, that's just that little bit of time I've been talking to you. This is a real-time video. I haven't done any edits or cuts or anything in between, so what you see here is exactly how long it's been taking. I don't personally think it's that long. Again, some of you might think, hey, it's taking too long, I want to send it off, or I don't want to deal with the mess or whatever. Hey, that's fine too. Me personally, I'm all about trying to do things myself. Some people don't like doing that, and I totally get that. There's certain things, again, that I don't like doing myself anyway. But, to each your own. So now I'm just taking the brush and I'm putting it on areas that's not quite completed yet or removed. And I'm going to let it set a little bit longer before we start to polish. So a lot of my mixture down here already has the red in it. I'm trying to get the more pure stuff that doesn't have any, like on the sides, because it'll eat through it a little faster. Of course, it doesn't matter. It's still gonna do the same job. One just might take a little bit more time than the other. Now this was almost done, believe it or not. Again, real-time video here, no cuts. I'm purposely not doing cuts. I know it's kind of boring this way, but I'm purposely not doing that so I can show you about how long this is going to take. Now, this back piece right here, that's going to take a little bit because it's got that cut in right there. So we're going to have to kind of keep working it in. And personally, I don't care if it doesn't all come off because that's not really going to be seen too well. But I'm still going to try to get it off. So again, we'll let that set. Clean up our hands again. And now I'm going to throw this one away and get me another piece. Just because that's how I am. I go through a lot of paper towels. Now that was just a few sprays of this oven cleaner. This says it cleans 3 times faster. Okay, great. That's awesome. I don't know the difference anyway because I don't clean my oven. Just to be honest with everybody. Okay, so this looks pretty well done. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to wipe this off. Try and give it a good wipe. See where everything's at. As you see right there, there's still a little bit on there. I'm not so concerned about that. I think I might actually just leave that because I don't really care. I'm a little impatient on certain things myself, so I'm going to stick this into the water bottle, like so. Take it out a little bit to get the oven cleaner off of it. top here. This is the tricky part, because I didn't think this through. So what I will do is put the bottle down on it. I can push it up a little bit to get it back out. Okay. Good thing about water bottles, you know, they kind of go back to their shape, no big deal. Now, as you see, there is still a little bit of residue there. I'm not going to worry about that, because looking at this, it looks like everything else has come off. So I want to show you, the polishing side of it. So what we'll do, take our toothbrush here and kind of clean it off a little bit. It's got the other cleaner on it. Again, that's why I like using the water bottles. Mess contained, and you can throw them away when you're done. Just an easy way to do things, I think. Alright. Pick up our solution here. You can see the salt likes to stick to the bottom. And for this process, I'm just going to pour it on and then basically do a little bit of light scrubbing. I'm doing this with the toothbrush again. I usually use like a Brillo pad or something, but I believe you can use anything, so I figured I'd try the toothbrush. So it's already starting to look better. We'll see how well this turns out with the toothbrush. I like the toothbrush again because I can get in all those little crevices and stuff really easy. And it's not like I have to fight it or anything. Of course, it's not too hard doing it with pretty much anything, but you get the point. Now, I just want to show you the difference. Hopefully the camera can pick that up. This is the polished side, that's the non-polished side. So see what I mean? It's going to be somewhat similar, but it's not going to be as shiny. It definitely is not going to look like that. So that's a win-win, and that's what we're going to be doing here. So we'll get some more solution. Shake it up a little bit. And actually, we'll leave that bowl for something else, because we're going to be doing more de-anodizing. So I'll use this little green one over here. That way I can dip out of it if I need to. The salt kind of acts like a little bit of a sandpaper effect. So I like that. And again, you can polish on this as much as you want. You can take one of those attachments that goes on a Dremel and polish it if you want. I'm not doing that. I just figured I'd do the lazy, easy way, to be honest with you, with the solution, because I know the vinegar and stuff works really well. At least well enough for me. I don't really personally care, so I'm not that picky. I know some people are. And again, that's fine. You know, I'm not, saying that's wrong or whatever. It is what it is. Some people like it, some people don't like it. Find your own niche. This is just one option for you. Kind of take it and do what you must with it. I'm just massaging it in now with my fingers. Last little bit, just to kind of see what I can get off, if anything. A little bit on the back here that I want to remove. It hasn't quite come off. It's looking a lot better. now we're going to take and put it back in our water. And if this water gets too dirty, you'll have to dump it out and get some more. But again, this household chemicals too, you can put it down the drain, you can put it in the toilet, it's not going to hurt nothing. Again, that's why I like using it. Simple, easy, sort of thing. Get it up there first. That's definitely the hard part. We got it back out of the bottle. Give it a little bit of a dry. And then if you want to, this is still dry, just kind of run it through, and it'll make a world of difference. Get another piece of paper towel, and I'll show you what this looks like. Turned out pretty good, I think. Still got some dirt on it from my fingers and stuff here, but you're going to have some of that. You can wash it again if you want. Me personally, I know this is good, so I'm just going to leave it the way it is, and then I'll wash it again later before I install it on the truck. Get stuff off my fingers a little bit anyway. Alright, so there we go. See how it's kind of a little dull, but it's got a little bit of a polish to it. Doesn't look too terribly bad. Somewhat matches that piece, just not quite as shiny. If you want the shiny, you can continue to polish or get a wheel out that attaches to your Dremel. Polish it that way. Me, I'm personally fine with this. I think this is perfect. It's going to match everything I want to do with the truck. So I'm going to do all these parts, and then we'll do another video on installing them later. But for right now, that's how you would de-anodize something, and how you would take just regular household vinegar and salt, and you would basically polish it up after you remove the anodizing. The anodizing is easily removed with any kind of oven cleaner. I've used all kinds before in the past. Make sure you have some sort of pan or two to kind of work in, paper towels. I like to use toothbrushes and these little Brillo type pad things. And yeah, man, it works perfect. I really enjoy it. So it's one of those things that it's pretty easy for me to replicate. It does take a little bit of time, but you can basically load up that bowl there if you have smaller parts with all your little parts. Me personally, I don't have that many parts to do, and they're all a little bit bigger, so I'm just going to do them one at a time. But yeah, it's one of those things that it's time consuming a little bit, but it's not terrible. It's not bad. It's not something that you can't do yourself.